Hello, hello, my crafty friends. This is Anne-Marie Julian Wetzel. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So today's crafty make and take is another craft that attendees coming to my open house, holiday open house, will be making. They're going to be making these adorable little shaker ornaments. They'll have their option. So there'll be a lot of variety of papers from them to choose from. So you can choose anything for the holidays that you'd want for your tree. So what you'll need are some dies and shaker, and I have tons of options to choose from. And for this card here, I'm going to bring in, I have a magnetic. It stands up and holds all of my dies when I'm working with them. So I am using the Everyday Arches for this one. This is the 5th one in, and I pre-cut already this out. And I'll talk a little bit about that and what you need to know when cutting that out. And then in addition, we have these shaker dome tree shaped, and then we also have the round ones. So there's a coordinating die that goes with this, and it is, nope, not that one, the pine tree trimming dies. So it has the pine tree and then some additional other embellishments, so to make with other cards. But this is, again, fun for the domes, and you're going to need 2 for each ornament that you make. Sorry, I stepped away because I wanted to show you the actual die. So here is the die. I had left it over by my die cutting machine. And then in addition, I used the Bobble Blooms die, and those are where I got my hooks from. So we have this hook here and this hook here. It comes with the different options, and then the star also is available inside those dies. So let's get started to make one of each. I'm going to show you. So we're going to start with the dome one here. So let me set this aside. So I ran this through my die cutting machine. Oh, I left my tape on here. As you can see, I tried to secure everything down so I have no movement. Now, if you have a die cutting machine magnetically, that will work, but I just wanted to make sure that nothing moved around here. So I took 2 pieces of the same paper. One I put this way and one I put this way to run that through on my die cutting machine. And then I also, at the same time, line this up and cut this out. So I also put this down, and I use the Post-it note tape. It's a temporary Post-it, but washi tape also works. So that is, so now I can use this for something else, another card project. When I am also running it, so again, I use the Post-it note. In the center here, I know this piece is going to get cut out, so I put a little bit of adhesive in there, so I know my papers are, it gives it additional security, so the papers aren't going to move. So you can see here, I just put a little bit of adhesive to hold that in place. All right, so now we have our base for our shaker. So again, we need 2 of these. Now these domes are double-sided adhesive. So you have adhesive on this side and adhesive on this side. You're gonna wanna fill this up. And you wanna be pretty generous, but we have to be careful because we don't want it totally overflowing. I am taking a 1/2 tablespoon and I'm gonna fill this up with a table, maybe 1.5 tablespoons if I can get it in here. Now again, don't take off your top tape there. So again, that was like 2 heaping tablespoons to fill that up, right? All right. We know we'll have sequins all over the place afterwards. What I am going to also add here, because if you are familiar with creating shakers, sometimes they get static. And when you add something that has a little bit more dimension and it's not something as staticky, then it'll allow it to shake more. So I have tons and tons of different shakers. You could see all over my desk here. I'll have these all at the crop, but because I'm just going to add some blue in here, because I like the color blue, and then add that. Okay, so I am going to carefully take this tape off without trying to shake up all of my sequins. This is very, very sticky. And then I'm going to take it off of this side as well. And again, as I mentioned, there's tape on both sides, but we're only going to do the inside here. And I'm going to lift this up carefully and line this up. You can see that is very, very full. So the way I'm lining it up is I'm going to try to get this is that point and try to line that point up. And because it's sticky, you're going to want to make sure that you're pretty lined up, and using my thumbs to guide. And we did it. So now I am going to rub my finger and thumb. Just make sure that I have a tight seal on that. We don't want any of these gems to get out. Right. If you have long nails, you might want to use tweezers to help hold those. And look at, we have a fun tree shaker. Okay, so before I lose any more of these, let me get this out of the way. My luck, I will knock this over all over the place, and that will not be fun to clean up. Okay, so now we have this, and this, before I take this tape off, right, this is going to fit here on this side. It should perfectly fit, and then the back side should also fit, right? So again, when you are die cutting your 2 pieces of paper together, it's going to be important that you have, especially with the tree, that when we do the circle one, it's not going to be as big of a deal, but you are going to want, whatever your backside, you want them to be matching. So you're going to want to run that die through that machine, through your die cutting machine that way. All right. So I am going to take on one of, I'm only going to do the one side. I am taking this tape off, and I'm going to place it over there. And it should, like I said, it should fit perfectly, because that die was coordinated purposely for this shaker, right? So again, like we did before, I'm just going to rub my thumb and finger around just to make sure that I have that sticking with a good seal, okay? I'm not going to take this tape off, but see how that fits perfectly over that? What I am going to do is I'm going to put some double-sided tape to give that some stability. You could actually use a tape runner also, but just going to want to make sure you have good coverage on it. This double-sided tape is sticky. Another key thing too, depending on how you want to decorate this afterwards, you are going to want to make sure that when you place your tree for die cutting, you have enough room, because we're going to add a star to the top of our shaker. And we're going to add our little hooks. So for this one here, I cut out 2 of stars with silver foil. And then I used our velvet paper. If you have not seen it, I have it right here. So this is a red velvet and a green velvet. It's a heavy, sturdy paper. And then it also comes with white. So it comes with a package of 3, or 1 of each color in there. So I cut, for this one out, I cut the green. And then, what did I do with, oh, here it is. So I cut 2 of these out. I put double-sided tape on here, and I am just going to place that, make sure that I have that centered. And I kept with the silver foil. I'm going to put a little bit of double-sided tape on that side as well. So, because again, we want this to, there is that tape right there. It stuck to my finger before I can even get it off. So we got that though. And now let's take our top side of the double-sided tape off. How fun it is to create these. So create these with your children, your grandchildren. If you're a teacher, I know I have many teachers. How fun would this be for your kids in your class to make and come home and have a memory on their Christmas tree? Make it for your neighbors. If you're having a holiday party, give it to your guests, right? So I am just lining this up. And again, making sure that I rub that really, really well. It lined up well. Yay. All right, so now let's just do our finishing touches. Like I said, I have the 2 stars that I want to add. I'm just putting some adhesive. I'll put that on top of that side of the tree. And one there. And then you're going to need twine ribbon. I cut this about 8 inches, and I will run this through here. You're going to want something that's double-sided, something that's flexible but sturdy. Just run this. There we go. And then we're going to just tie a knot. Now, I am going to do a double. Like, I'm going to do one towards the bottom here. Just make sure that I have my ribbon. All right, and then I'm going to just tie another one up here. So you have something to hang it on one of the branches on the tree. Yep. All right, there we go, tighten that up. And the last touch, again, is this velvet ribbon. This actually, this ribbon is from the Reindeer Fun, which was from last year. And I am just going to add that up there. And I actually didn't cut two of them. I was just realizing that. So I'll do a second one and put it on the back so I have both sides of that. All right, so here is this shaker card. And I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to do a separate video to show you how to do this one. So you guys can pull up the video of the ornament that you will be making at the holiday event. Okay, so bye for now. Be back in 2 minutes.